But football without fans is not. You play a football match without fans, is it not? It can be the greatest game in the world. If there are no people there to watch, it becomes nothing.
And to Johnston. Johnston. And a goal by Johnston. Larson. Oh, he's in! Henrik Larsson! That is sensational! Nakamura! He has done it! Is it not just typical?
The game is over. The Rebels have won. Champions, that's who we are.
Alright guys, how are we? Back again, Jungle Gyms. Obviously, we're the one last week because we were busy, and now we're back. So here we are. Andy, the trucker of Baldinus, James in the boat. How are we, boys?
Aye, alright, mate. Fucking bit of a nightmare since I've come back from work, but apart from that, can't complain.
Andy boys turned the heating off so they can hear us, and it looks like he's frozen.
Oh.
All right, Andy boy. Looks like he's gone. Just join in whenever, mate. Join in whenever. Aye. So obviously, as I said, we never went on last week, James. We were intending on doing a wee post match after the Sydney games. We never done it. What did you think of that tournament?
Then I know sat up here watching it. Fucking nearly put me into a coma watching it. Wasn't really great at all. But doesn't really count for much, does it? But it was a bit disappointing. We're always kind of semi-full strength, but maybe I'd like to see a wee bit more just to see what they've got about them, especially against the Australian team.
Mm-hmm. So obviously the first game, mate. The first game wasn't great. Fuck is going on here? You guys freezing us like me?
I'm getting it as well, mate. I'm only getting wee bits of conversation.
Andy boy, can you hear us, mate?
I think that's been kicked out altogether there.
Sorted. Andy boy, I'll kick you out, mate. See, and I'll bring you back in. See what happens. Aye. So sorry, guys. Sorry about that. Aye. So the Sydney games, obviously the first game, mate. It wasn't the greatest. You know, the other team kind of had a go at us, and again we had missed chances. Never won the game. And then the Everton game, I think when we played the Everton game, it was we showed them a bit more attacking intent, and we had a decent go at them. And I think it was somebody said that kind of Frank Lampard deployed an almost very, very defensive tactic to try and counter Celtic's attacking kind of prowess, which again, that says a lot about Celtic and Postecoglou, you know. So it wasn't exactly a fucking glorifying tournament, but listen, it was a decent wee kind of friendly games. We made a bit of money. We got a lot of exposure in Australia. Anne's got the homecoming, and potentially we've got kind of a new wave of new Celtic supporters. So is it a bad thing? No for me. Not for me. Andy, what did you think of the Sydney games, mate? Hear us now, Andy
Hear
boy?
me all right?
Yes, mate.
Aye, it's a wee bit better now. I'd say this internet's fucking playing up. What did you say there? What did you say there? Did you say it's
were
something
just,
about Sunday?
No, we were just getting a wee quick recap on the Sydney games. Sydney tournament, Australians.
Oh, Sydney. I thought you said Sunday.
No, Sydney.
Paddy, I'm going to need to jump off here now to sort this
Right.
internet out. I can't.
No worries, pal.
It's just
Cheers,
I'm
mate.
not getting anything.
Oh well, at least we know it wasn't us. Sorry about that, guys. Aye, damn back reboot list. I think we'll be alright. Aye, sorry. So where were we? Sydney.
Aye, just Sydney. Aye, did you stay up for the game? Was it Saturday night, Sunday night?
Mate, I had the greatest intentions, but I'm not going to lie, I didn't.
Aye, really didn't miss much.
Aye, I was going out the next day, so I thought, fuck it. You know what? The first game, I managed to kind of sneak away at intervals and watch it during the work on the phone.
Aye.
Again, like, you know, we saw a couple of moments and it was decent, but then the other teams scored and they just looked as if they wanted a bit more. But do you know what? I wasn't actually that disappointed to see that other team winning. I know I hate to see Celtic losing all the time, but it was nice that, you know, the supporters that we were going on there to kind of play in front of, you know, they got to witness a victory for their team. So that's what it was. It was a token win and a token friendly. We got money, we got exposure. We actually turned up, unlike some other teams who are now being chased for the money. But aye, as I say, decent. By the way, I've not got a lot of fucking notes or anything. I'm just going to sit here and shoot the shit. So obviously the night it's World Cup. You've all watched it. He's on what the script is. So the night, what is it, 7:30? It's USA versus England. So I'm on the fucking Yanks. I think Carter Vickers is going to start tonight.
No happening, is it?
No, it's not, mate. Fuck knows what's happening. Fuck knows. I think we'll just, I think we'll make this a short, sweet one tonight. If it's going to be this bad, mate. I was just saying there, mate, before you froze again. Sorry, everybody in the comments. Who did I say? Wales and England. Sorry, you're right, Frank. I'm trying to juggle that many screens here. Wales and England. Aye, Wales and England. So hopefully the Welsh get it right fucking up them. Can't see it though. But the other news is that tonight, Carter Vickers is starting for the USA versus Iran. Has started for USA, which is good.
Have you seen a lot of the World Cup? Have you seen many of the games you've been watching?
No, I'm not going to lie, mate. I've not seen a lot. I've watched a couple. Been disappointed with them. The only game I've actually enjoyed so far has been Australia versus Tunisia, who, by the way, during that game, I know you love him, so I'm going to mention him. Aaron Moy, superb.
Aye, go to give him his due. He was good. He shite the France game though after 10 minutes, so that's equaliser. But no, he bossed the game. To be fair, didn't he? He was excellent. Best player in the park by a mile. But no, I was just going to say with Carter Vickers, I've pretty much seen a lot of the game. Well, all the games apart from that, the games 3 o'clock today. See, after watching America the first couple of times, I don't know how Carter Vickers doesn't get a start for them, because it was the first game. Was it the guy Tim Ream that plays with Fulham gives away a penalty? He looks well past it, and then there's got another guy. I think he's called Zimmerman. Doesn't do it for me at all. Carter Vickers head and shoulders above him, man. Don't know how he's not getting in.
I know, mate. I don't know. It's obviously the manager's got his preferences into it. I think they two actually play. I think maybe they two played together at Fulham, if memory serves right. But I'm probably talking straight. But no, listen, it's good to see him getting his chance in the World Cup. It's never nice to see a player going all the way to the World Cup and not actually getting a game, even though it's good for the part of the squad. But it's nice to see him on the pitch, and it's obviously going to be a good experience for him, something that he'll never forget. Raises his profile, yada yada yada. Hopefully, there's a good performance. And talk about the World Cup, by the way. Obviously, the other day there, Canada played Croatia. So it was a battle of the right backs. Obviously, Josip Juranovic started for Croatia, and the rumoured at the time right back Alistair Johnston was starting for Canada. And fortunately, thanks to the commentator at the time, mate, he actually alluded to the fact that Johnston will be a Celtic player after the World Cup. Did you watch that game, Jay-Z?
I did, mate. See, to be honest with you, I didn't think he looked great. I thought he looked brilliant in the first game. Who was it they played again? The first game? I can't even remember. Belgium. I looked really, really good that game. The second game, the game yesterday, didn't look great. But see, to be fair, Juranovic, out of the two of them, probably looked the better. But I thought he kind of started slow and then grew right into the game. But Boyd doesn't look a bad player. Obviously, you can't judge him off one game, but overall, he looks no bad. A funny looking character, right enough, isn't he?
He's like that. What do you call fucking? Is it Pete Davidson? About shagging a Kardashian.
One of the Kardashians, right?
Aye. No, as I say, I never watched the first game, mate, against Belgium.
I looked at part there.
But I heard a couple of comments that Canada were decent and they kind of set up almost kind of Celtic-esque in their attack.
Honestly, I think everybody said it and seen it on Twitter, but it was very, very much like watching us in the Champions League. Just chances galore, just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. And then obviously didn't work out for them.
All right, son.
Can you see us all right?
Aye,
Andreas.
Is that a wee bit better? I've had to go into my phone. I don't know what's happening with the iPad.
Aye, that's lovely, mate. Don't worry about your data. We'll not be on for a long time, right? Obviously.
Is that all right? It's not freezing too much, is it? Because there's no point coming on.
No, you're fine, mate. You're fine. I'll just talk about the boy Alistair Johnston there. I was saying to James, I never seen him in the first game, but I heard a lot of good things about him. And then when I watched the Canada and Croatia game, I was looking forward to seeing it because I was looking forward to see Juranovic versus Johnston. Blah blah blah. Juranovic, I didn't think was very good, but I actually thought that the boy Johnston was absolutely pish. And I'm just going to be straight up. I know he was playing kind of on the right hand side there, a three centre back pairing. But see if you look at kind of all the goals that Croatia scored, Johnston was fucking well out of position. At one point, mate, he was actually at left wing, and I'm like, is that not that fucking boy Johnston? He's been seen there.
It was a bit all over the place, wasn't he? He certainly didn't have his best game, and to be honest with you, I've not seen much of the boy at all. I didn't even know anything about him until he was linked with us. But it looks as if the deal's done. I also thought Juranovic had a bit of a nightmare at the start of that game against Canada. But how good have Canada been? Their whole attitude to the game, just taking it by the scruff of the neck and just going for it. So obviously they've not got the quality to actually do anything with it, but I thought they've been not a good side, but their attitude's been really good, the way they've approached games.
Aye, a few decent players I know. A lot of off the I can't remember, but there's a few players that I didn't realise was Canadian. Like obviously I know Alphonso Davies, but that Atiba Hutchinson, man, he must be about 97 or something. He's been about 4 years.
Rose.
No, it's your camera, mate. I think your voice is fine. Atiba Hutchinson, did he not play for Basel years ago?
He was at Besiktas, I know. I think I'm sure I was just deciding on Football Manager. That's how I know that.
But listen, I'm sure they kind of they've done themselves kind of proud. You know what I mean for what they are. But I just looked at that boy's performance, Johnson, and I know you can't judge a guy in one game, but if that's the kind of calibre of player that we're bringing in, I certainly hope that was a kind of after. Couple of the things that I'd read about him. Obviously plays for CF Montreal, Canada. Plays in the MLS. Apparently, he's very, very highly rated in the MLS. Plays alongside none other than Victor Wanyama. and he was actually talking about him today. So he was, what's his name? Alistair Johnston was talking about Wanyama, and he said that as soon as he heard that there was interest in Celtic, straight away spoke to Big Vic, and Big Vic told him, listen, do it. Go and sign for them. You'll not regret it. It's such an amazing club. So it's great to know that even on Canada, on the MLS, we've still got some sort of Celtic connection all over the place. We're everywhere. Can I get a shot at this? Brilliant.
Aye, I'd take him back in a heartbeat, I know, wouldn't you, if he was a wee bit younger, Wanyama?
Aye. By the way, listen, his contract's up in about 2 weeks, so...
Aye, I think he's injured all the time now, but isn't he? I've seen that. I know he got injured a while ago, I don't know. But it was rumoured at one point, wasn't it? But I think that's exactly what we need, one of these type of players. But I seen him, I seen that Johnson was saying that Wanyama's probably better than his agent and selling him on the move. So maybe it is a wee comeback story there, man.
Do you think, don't know if you can hear me, Andy, it seems frozen a wee bit. Do you think that the signing of Johnson that spells the end for Juranovic? I know there has been a bit of talk about it. There's been rumours. There's obviously been the kind of added chat for a long time, maybe 6 months, 7 months that Atletico Madrid have been in from. Do you think this signing of another right back to add to Tony Ralston and Juranovic spells the end for Juranovic?
Crashed again.
Nah, crashed. Listen, I'm going to kick you, Andy boy, if you can hear me. But listen, mate, thanks very much for coming on. Appreciate it. It's just one of the nights, pal. Thanks. I think I want to you, Jamesy boy.
No, I say don't hear a four. I think if a decent-ish offer comes in, Juranovic will be away. Ideally, wouldn't go in January. I'd probably hold after the summer. And see, to be fair, I wouldn't actually. Well, I say I wouldn't be surprised. I think that's what will happen. I think we'll see Juranovic stay here to the summer and then get his move elsewhere in the summer, because obviously I think Ange will want to kind of get this guy bedded in a wee bit. This Johnson, get him in the squad maybe towards the end of the season when he's up to speed. See how he goes, and then obviously right into. I was going to say into the qualifiers, but hopefully we'll not have qualifiers.
And there's a few guys in the comment section talking about Alistair Johnston, who had a background in ice hockey, which he spoke about. There's Lanky 67. Johnston used to play ice hockey before he played football for his college team, then moved to Montreal. Frank Kennedy says, a rock of a puck. Feed the bear, Alan the Goon. Aye, so listen, that was one of the things that he did say. He says that he loves to tackle. He loves getting in about the rough and tumble, and this all comes from his hockey background. Listen, mate, see if he's going to be a guy that loves to get stuck in, that'll certainly go down well in Scotland. But first and foremost, can he play football?
Aye. Okay, I'm a wee bit a wee bit more old school. See, when it comes to fullbacks, I think the first thing you should be able to do is defend. I think a lot of fullbacks these days are just kind of failed wingers that didn't have the pace, or wingers that weren't tricky enough, or even centre halves. But for me, centre half, just defend first. You've got wingers if you want to attack. Just make sure you're sound at the back, and then we'll look at going forward.
Well, I mean, we've got Tony Ralston there. I know he's maybe not everybody's. I know he's maybe not everybody's favourite kind of player, but you've got a guy there who's very physical. He can attack, he can defend, he can pop up with goals, he can pop up with assists, and he has actually been a very, very important squad player.
Greg Taylor is well on the other side. He's been solid on all. He'll put his foot in, which I never thought I'd say about Greg Taylor this time last year. But I know, as I say, main thing for me, as long as you can defend, and then we'll look at going forward after it.
Listen, for me, it definitely spends the end of Juranovic. Surely, fuck. It's been spoken about. So listen, if the wee man wants to go, as long as we get a kind of a decent transfer fee, that we recoup something. Sorry, no recoup. We make money because we're only paying like $2.5 million from. I know a lot of the chat was like 25 million, 20 million. But see if we get anything maybe like 15 million upwards. That's a decent deal. Deal.
As I said, I've said on here before, if he goes, I don't think he's a massive. Even if he goes in January, I don't think he's a huge miss. It obviously would be a miss. He's a first team player, but I think as a fan base, as I said, we can overrate him. I don't think he's ever had a game where you can go, like, it sticks in the mind, you know what I mean? Like, it was absolutely fantastic there. Not that he's a bad player, obviously, far from it, but I just think we can overrate him a wee bit. I know you rate him quite highly, so would you be happy with that then? And Noor can have maybe 15 million?
I think, listen, I do like Evoy. I think he's a good player. I would dare to say that his head's been turned a wee bit, especially with a lot of the Atletico Madrid talk coming. But a lot of the chatter behind the scenes is that, you know, he's turning to, he's 27.
Aye.
He's looking for that big move. So listen, see if that's the case. Thanks very much. Thanks for your because what you brought to the club, your service, what you've done on the pitch. There you are. Off we go. Everybody's happy. You've got your move. We've got the money, and we move on. And it's good to see that Celtic are now finally being proactive in terms of transfers, because we would lose big players, we would lose first team players, and we would spend fucking ages trying to find replacements. And it would always seem to be that it would turn up to be somebody in the last minute of the transfer deadline alone. But now, as in what we've seen the last time, before the January transfer window had even opened, the day before it was announced that fucking Maeda was signing, Hatate was signing, Itaguchi was signing. Now, fast forward to this time, like, what was that, a week ago? You heard that Yuki Kobayashi had signed a 5-year deal. Right. And then now you're sitting watching the World Cup, and what happens? Oh, by the way, Celtic.
So sorry, I crashed out there. I never heard what you said, mate. Sorry.
I'm saying we're being proactive in transfer recruitment. So, like, we've already got Kobayashi in the door. We're sitting watching the World Cup, and then lo and behold, one of the guys that were sitting watching the World Cup. By the way, listen, you're signing him. You know,
it's the most un-Celtic thing like ever, isn't it? But along with, I see the feel. I wouldn't, the way he was talking, I wouldn't be even surprised if we maybe get another one or two in during December before the window opens. I mean, he was saying a couple of weeks ago, he was saying a couple of weeks ago that the kind of business is largely done for January. So I don't know if we maybe see another wee striker linked and even signed before the window opens.
Well, funny you should say that. We've actually been linked with a striker today. Ross Stewart, Sunderland.
Oh fuck, no him. Him and Porteous, no thank you.
Well,
I never actually seen that today.
Obviously, there's been kind of paper talk about Porteous, but that's really came out of the fact that the Hibernian manager Lee Johnson's turned around and says Hibs have offered them a massive contract on Hibs' kind of stature, financial level. He's knocked it back and he will be moving. Again, probably paper talk that would be linked to him, but there has been a couple of press kind of outfits. I don't know how reputable they are, but the boy Ross Stewart has been mentioned kind of later on today. So if anybody doesn't know him, Scottish striker, plays for Sunderland, previously with Ross County. He has actually been banging the goals in for Sunderland. Give him his due. He was also previously at Celtic as a young fella, was released. Seems like his contract might be running out soon. He wants to leave the club. I've also seen the other mob for Glasgow linked to him today. So whether that's a fact, whether that's a case of, you know, they're gone from, so automatically we're linked to him.
Aye.
You know,
I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me, to be honest. I think that the Champions League, the Championship is a horrible league. I mean, it's just, about 99% of the teams, probably except Norwich, it's just punt and run football in it, and just a big lump of wood up front.
I know, mate, but as I say, like the guy has got a decent kind of record. I wrote it down somewhere. It was, he's got 34 goals for Sunderland since he moved there in January 2021. So that's not too bad, do you know what I mean?
Aye, but that'll be a season in League One as well, wasn't it? Because was it last season they get promoted?
Aye, I think he scored about 23, 24 or something, League One.
Aye, doesn't really do it for me, to be honest. I know he'd probably be coming in as a third choice striker, but for me, you've got Kyogo Giacomakis. Your third choice should maybe be somebody a wee bit younger, kind of try to push through, obviously, and in the future.
Do you think we need another striker right now? I know obviously we look at the Champions League and we look at the amount of chances that we missed. It was only Jackie Marcus as our striker, having Kyle, he was the only one that scored. How do we fit in another striker? Because we can't guarantee fucking Jackie Marcus like starting game times. So how do we bring another guy unless we're going to let somebody go?
Aye, see, to be honest, even kind of regardless, like a material of the Champions League and stuff like that, I just always think you should have 3 strikers, because just in case one gets injured, and then you're one starting and there's nobody on the bench if you're struggling, do you know what I mean, to throw somebody on. So, I mean, it doesn't need to be a £5-6 million player that's going to come in and walk right into the first team. I don't think that will happen. I'd be very surprised if that happens. As I say, I'd maybe go for a wee kind of youngster, maybe even a wee loan with a view to buy, see how much football he gets, obviously what he does for us and stuff like that, the chances he does get, and then maybe take him on. But Ross Stewart doesn't really do it for me, to be honest with you.
It's one of the kind of paper ones. There's a name, Gypsy King. There's a name that was mentioned last week. Now that's a guy who I would be interested in. Robin Hack. I don't know if you know him.
No, I've never heard of him, mate. Who's he play?
He plays for Team in Blue, I think.
In Germany?
I can't remember it. I really can't remember. But he's a decent guy. I've seen a couple of YouTube clips of him up, but he's decent pedigree. Obviously, a player in Germany, you would expect that they're playing out against a good calibre team. Their coaches will be fucking technically sound, you know what I mean?
Aye. No, what age is he? Is he a fair age or is he a boy?
No, I think he's got a couple of years on him. Give me a wee second. Just jump onto the University of Google. Better turn the ball off. Robin Hack. So he is 24, plays for Arminia Bielefeld, and he is a German.
Aye, that's a wee bit. I'll say a wee bit more like it. I know 24 isn't exactly young these days, but somebody like that will come in, maybe play back up for a season or two, and then see. To be honest, Giakoumakis, I wouldn't be surprised if Giakoumakis wanted away in the summer. Like, to be honest, I don't even think you could begrudge him it, because it does feel as if no matter how Kyogo's playing, he does seem to start most of the big games. Even games kind of you think, right, Giakoumakis, even for his style of play, hold the ball up a wee bit more. It always seems to be Kyogo that's getting the nod. So I wouldn't be surprised if behind the scenes if he was maybe starting to kind of wander elsewhere a wee bit.
I mean, you look at the actually, is Kyogo and Giakoumakis no roughly around about the same age?
I think he must be, aye.
Is Giakoumakis just a wee bit older?
I don't know. I must be, what, about 27-ish? He's old, is it?
I think Giakoumakis was about 27 when we signed him. But regardless of that, I mean, like, as you say, I've spoken about this before on Dale's podcast, Celtic Supporters podcast. There he is, fucking funny enough, speaking of devil. I, myself and Kev Moon on it for the Kano Foundation, who we're going to speak about a lot in the coming weeks, by the way. I spoke about it before, mate, just exactly what you said. Like, Giakoumakis can come in for I don't want to say the long of this, but you know what I mean. He comes in off the bench, he does what he has to do, ruffles up the defenders, brings some positivity into the game, gets a goal, and then lo and behold, next game he's on the bench again. And then if he starts and does well, next game he's on the bench again. If he starts and doesn't do the best, what happens? He's on the bench again. But Kyogo seems to get the run all the time. So clearly Postecoglou favours Kyogo in every sense. But how long, as you say, how long does Juranovic put up with that? Maybe that's a bit harsh saying that, but like, how does Juranovic take to deal with that, especially when he's been used to being a kind of a forward player, a centre forward, a guy who gets a service into the box. Whereas when he comes on, for me, he's been asked to play the same kind of role that Kyogo plays, and it's stifling his game a bit for me.
100%. Just they're both 27. Just how you Google there. So again, it's getting to that age, the same as Juranovic. You're kind of, as you say, maybe kind of one big move, well, semi-big move in him. I don't know where Giakoumakis would go, but wouldn't like to see him go because I like Coven, see the kind of different options. But as you say, obviously he's trying to play in the same way as Kyogo. But I'd rather see. I like having a big target man. I think I always go back to see like Hesselink and McDonald, that having that kind of little and large option. I know we hardly ever go, well, we pretty much never go two up front, but I like that as an option off the bench if needed to throw them both on. So I wouldn't like to see him going. If he did go, I'd like to see us replace him with a kind of maybe a target man as opposed to a wee wiry forward that will run about.
No, 100%, mate. Like, we've talked about Wanyama earlier. I would love to see that type of Wanyama figure in the centre of mid, because you've got Vickers at the back, and Vickers is a unit. He's like a fridge. We all know it is. He's absolutely solid. And you can see the impact of where a physical and powerful player coming into the team, you'll benefit of that, because you'll have that balance. You'll have a guy at the centre back who is solid, composed. The forwards hate playing against him, but you've got the other guy who can be that kind of ball playing midfielder, and that'll, they'll bounce well off each other. You need that in midfield and all, because we've got loads of guys there who can be that technically excellent player. You've got your McGregors, you've got your Tatis, O'Reilly, Turnbull as well. These guys are all technically very, very good in the ball, but when push comes to shove, we will lose out in physical battles. It's been proven, and it's the same again up front and all. If you've got Kyogo playing up against 2 and 3 big guys, he'll struggle a bit. I'm not saying that he'll struggle every single time, but he will struggle a bit. But when you see Giakoumakis coming on, Giakoumakis is a bull himself. He's a big, solid laddie. He doesn't fear for anybody. He gets in and he ruffles the feathers. He sticks his arse in. He rolls players. And it just shows that, like, it doesn't matter how kind of advanced football becomes and how fucking statistic-wise it becomes, you still need to go with that kind of brute force. You still need to do something. And that rolls on to something that I wanted to talk about as well. I don't know if you noticed, mate, but the SFA, they've announced that they will be jumping into procedures to help protect against head injuries for players. Right. So, basically, to sum it up, they're trying to put an emphasis on less headering of the ball. Now, they're not talking about that in game, but what they're doing is they're saying, when you're in training, stuff like that, we really need to limit the use of headering the ball. So before a game, the day before a game, a player teams are not allowed to practice heading, repetitive heading drills, stuff like that. So this is something that's been brought in because of campaigning for head injuries. You've got ex-football players who are sadly suffering from dementia, stuff like that. And a lot of it's been backed by the science. Kind of partly it is that the constant headering of footballs has played a part in that. So I know on one hand, like, it's taking something out of the game, because it still is a part of the game. Like, heading the ball is still a part of the game. The physicality is still part of the game. Corners, free kicks, heading it in, whatever, defenders, whatever. Are you happy to see that kind of sacrifice if it's going to be beneficial towards players later on in life? Or do you think it's a step too far? Do you think it's like...
I don't think it'll make much of a difference, to be perfectly honest, mate, because... I mean, I don't know, obviously, for experience, but I can't see he's spending hours and hours doing heading drills. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe John Kennedy throws the ball for the defenders like he does at Parkhead, but I mean, how much can you practice headers? But nah, I don't think we'll really notice anything. And as you say, is it just the day after a game?
I've not got the full stats, but it's the day before a game.
Certainly
the day before a game, but I would dare say that most teams will practice set pieces the day before a game.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
I suppose aye. Nah, I'm just thinking pure headering drills, but I suppose that comes into it. But I don't know, stay the day before, innit? Just get yourself set and ready and all that. But obviously, if there's science behind it, and I know Chris Sutton and all that's quite passionate about it, and obviously it is a horrible illness, just even speaking from personal experience, I'm sure we all know someday, but it is what it is, innit? See, just out of interest and all, how would they police that, do you think? Would it just be down to the coaches, or if you done it like with them, they know, do you know what I mean?
Absolutely no idea, mate. It's a great question. I think that would be kind of
just a kind of trust thing.
Probably down to the personal responsibilities of the coach, the club, the staff, everybody.
Yeah.
But I think possibly where you would falter on that would be like maybe possibly insurance purposes. So if you get like if you end up with some sort of fucking brain injury because you've denied the kind of the request and don't do it, and then something happens to you and whatever, you know, that'll fuck you that way. But there's Andy. He's frozen, but his comments on the frozen. Back in the day, the balls were a lot heavier. The balls are much lighter now. I'm no expert, but I'd imagine the impact isn't as tough in the modern era. Aye, that's one thing.
We just need to practice our Ronaldo drills the day before after that last night. Just need to do that 24 times.
Just duck it. There's Egyptian King. CTE. I wouldn't even dare try and pronounce the full thing, but it's chronic something. It's basically brain damage. CTE is definitely becoming a big problem with physical sports. Again, that's a big thing that they've found in American football in the last 10 years, maybe. A lot of players became ill, died sadly, and kind of the autopsy stuff, James, brought back the fact that these guys were suffering for basically serious concussion, and it was the amount of times that their heads were making contact with, like, you know, the tackles, they were getting tackled, this and that, and it was causing serious brain trauma. But as you say, you know, this kind of thing is starting to creep in now in football. It probably has been there prevalent before, but a lot of it now is starting to kind of become a lot common. You had, you know, unfortunately, I certainly fucking don't like them, but the England fucking World Cup '66 team, a lot of them kind of have died with this kind of this illness. Chris Sutton's dad, as you mentioned, so Chris Sutton's a big advocate for it. Hayley McQueen, Gordon McQueen's daughter, she's a massive advocate as well. And again, this is guys that are, you know, have been fucking sports people, heroes back in the day, very fit, athletic guys, and unfortunately, you know, they've crumbled with this debilitating illness. And as you say, you know, the chances are we've all kind of encountered that. I certainly have, so I know this script firsthand, mate. It's fucking horrendous, absolutely horrendous. So I think, you know, based on that, if they're trying to put something into place that's going to help to support people and alleviate this happening down the line, because this could certainly be a generational thing. You know, as Andy says, you know, back in the day it was a leather football, they were dead heavy, and obviously you put a soaking wet ball into that equation, you're maybe times in the weight by 3 times. So if that kind of generation that was playing with that ball back at the time is now getting to a stage in life now where it's affecting them, you know, and you're getting to see a lot of people, do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That could just be a kind of sign of the times. And now, when you've got the players now who get to be that age, it won't be as bad because the ball's lighter, as again, as Andy said. But I don't know, mate. I don't know if it's going to affect it in game. It's a different story, but it might just be the fact that they'll just try to stop it out with the game as much as possible.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, I mean, it's not obviously a blanket ban on heaters and training, obviously in games as well. So would it really make that much a difference? I mean, I know, as you say, obviously American footballers, I think there's some wrestlers as well were into it, that a lawsuit against the NFL and the WWF or whatever it is now. But I mean, like UFC, like, you've got people, boxers getting punched in the head every second day for a living. So is heading the ball one day less going to make that much difference? So I don't know, or could this maybe be the kind of first step in maybe like a blanket ban further down the line? I don't know. I mean, I suppose we're a team that scores one corner every 6 months anyway, so we probably won't notice a difference, to be fair.
Well, that's kind of my thinking as well, mate. Like, you know, they're clearly trying to kind of outlaw it as much as possible out with match day. When is that going to creep into the match day? Because I think if Dasbo was on the night, he'd be able to kind of tell us more. But I think a lot of the kind of kids football, they have started kind of trying to ban
Aye.
a lot of headers. Again,
It's just one of the things, isn't it? You can't really do anything about it, and obviously if it stays the way it is, I suppose you probably won't notice a difference, but obviously, as I say, further down the line, I wouldn't be surprised to see more and more kind of stuff today with it. Maybe not a blanket ban, but more and more stuff creep in with it.
There's Tam Mack. Tam Mack. What about rugby? Big Doddy. There's what's he saying as well? R.I.P. Big Doddy. So obviously that's Doddy Weir. I'm not going to lie, guys. I'm not a rugby fan. I know Doddy Weir played rugby. I've seen a couple of photos. About Celtic Park with a tartan suit. That is literally as much as I know about the guy. But sadly, the guy passed away with motor neurons, I believe. Again, a big strapping rugby guy, absolutely solid. Built like a brick shit house, crumbled, totally.
I was just going to say, sorry to nip in there, there was meant to be a game a few years ago. I'm sure it was when he was just no long diagnosed. There was meant to be, that's where the pictures will be fae. There was meant to be a game at Parkhead. It was Doddy Weir, and I'm sure it was an ex-Celtic player, but off the top of my head, I can't even remember. And I'm sure we actually sold tickets to it, but for whatever reason, it ended up getting cancelled. But I can't even remember who the. I'm sure it was an ex-Celtic player, but maybe somebody in the comments will remember, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Because as I'm the same as you, I'm not a rugby person, couldn't tell you anything about the guy, to be honest. But aye, just with the pictures, and I remembered the name just solely for that, because I'm sure they put the tickets in sale. But aye, sad. As you say, it's a horrible illness, isn't it?
Aye, as I said, I genuinely really didn't know much about the guy, but it was quite sad to hear, that another person taken by a horrible illness, and that seems to, it really does seem to be all you hear now. It's fucking people dying and people getting no well and just whatever. But aye, fucking sincere thingies to his family and that. Aye, shame. I know, that sounded great.
Sincere thingies.
I sounded dead insincere, didn't I? It's been a long fucking day.
I cared, I sincere thingies.
It's like the Victor Meldon, I cared, whatever.
Send him a thing, we scared.
You know what I mean, sincere sympathies. So it's been interesting, Glasgow, as well, mate, because Celtic stopped for the break for the World Cup. They were 9 points ahead, and it seemed like that was the last hurrah for Mr. Gio over in Ibrox. Turns out it was, and there you are, lo and behold, yesterday, who have they brought in? Mick Beale. Fucking Mick Beale. I thought it was Michael Beale the last time. No, he's Mick.
It's highly inspiring for them, is it? I mean, I've got mates that have got season books at Ibrox, and they're no overly impressed either. And see, to be fair, see this notion that he was the brains behind Gerrard, and every day in the media is he was the brains behind Gerrard. He was the man. When Gerrard was here, he was a man sorting everything, as if that is some form of praise. I know at the end of the day, Gerrard done what he came in today, and Stoughton was winning 10 in a row. But I mean, it took a pandemic for it to happen, and he won one trophy. I know he done well in Europe, but he won one trophy. What was it, 9 he had available? Mm-hmm. So see if you come out and said, "Oh, he's the brains behind Gerrard." I think that's great news for us. I don't think that's a positive. I mean, obviously everybody's saying he's a great coach on the training ground and stuff like that. But Ronnie Dyler was a great coach as well, wasn't he? And I know he won the league and everything, but didn't he date as a manager for me?
Mate, I was actually going to say that if your claim to fame has been known as Steven Gerrard's brains, then surely fuck that ain't no compliment.
Aye, 100%. 100%.
So they've got their new man in the door, so I obviously think it's quite right that we kind of talk about it, because he's now our nearest competitor. So they've signed their ex-assistant manager, who of course left the club to go and join Stevie at Aston Villa. He then chucked it to go and be the QPR manager. I was reading a lot of stuff for some QPR fans and that today, and they are seriously unimpressed with this guy. So, for these guys' point of view, obviously I'm just going with what they're saying, the kind of general consensus is that the guy comes in and he's like a used car salesman. He basically tells you what you want to know, gets you all fucking hot and bothered, sells you the deal, and then it turns out to be an absolute fucking stinker. I think he done all right at the start, but then I think he had won something like one game out of 9, something like that.
It was terrible. It was probably a couple of games away for the sack. I mean, that league's mental for going through managers.
And obviously there was the kind of whole furore about him supposedly knocking back the Wolves job, saying, you know, he owes his loyalty to QPR, he's there to finish a job, and then what happens? Ends up at them within about, I think it was like 30 days or something, about a month, something like that. So this guy clearly has got zero loyalty. I know there's a lot of loyalty in football, but this club gave this guy his first job, and he's jumped shit again, very, very quickly. I've actually watched a couple of interviews with him today, and to be honest, mate, the guy sounds like an absolute fanny. He's just somebody on one of these QPR things says to him, I can't mind the place, but say it was like Camden. He's got an accent for Camden, and he's got a beer belly. You know, who is this guy? He's just a fucking idiot. But what do you think about that, mate? Does this have you shaking under the covers? Is it fucking Ian Beale coming in?
Nah, not at all. See, to be honest, I mean, the list, obviously, we'll never know if it was true, but I mean, the list that was doing the rounds with the bookies and stuff like that, it wasn't really inspiring. I mean, Sean Dyche, if he was ever in the running, he would have probably got them winning games, but the fitba for the last part, the most part, would probably be absolutely dire. Probably similar to a Gordon Stratton when he was with us. I actually said that to my mate the other day. They said it probably be like a Walter Smith at the aim, and I suppose that's that worked out all right. But I mean, outweigh that, I mean, you're probably looking at the guy's name's out my head. Is it Knudsen or Knudsen or something? The guy that was at Bodo Glimt.
Canel Knudsen, something like
that. In terms of the maybe a wee bit outside the box, maybe a wee bit exciting for them, probably him. But even at that, he's an unknown quantity. I mean, he's had one good season at Bodo Glimt. I think this year they're about 20-25 points off the pace, and I don't think they've done obviously as well in Europe this year as they did last year. But it wasn't really an inspiring list, I don't think.
No.
Obviously, sorry, that's my mistake. Apart from the one and only David Martindale, but
you're good drop.
Apart from that, I mean, I thought he was the obvious choice, but apart from that, nah, there's not muchness in it. The guy's been a manager 5 minutes. His record's pretty poor.
Aye. What was it? Somebody actually mentioned to me today, you know, as I say, I was reading some of the news and that, I had a wee bit of a chuckle. Turned around and says, listen, don't laugh too hard, because we were laughing when you signed a guy for Australia via Japan. And I was like, right, okay. And I actually thought about that for a second. And I went like, do you know what? No, it's not the same fucking thing.
But see, even by that token, I mean, I'll be the first to hold my hands up. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Were you over the moon? Were you kidding on that this was a fantastic appointment when we got Postecoglou? Even with the way it started, I mean, as I say, I'll be the first to hold my hands up. I was on the forums and all that. Obviously, it's the same as yourself. You'd be able to see, but I was moaning, even when everybody was bringing up his trophies and all that. I'm like, but he's never done it in Europe. He's done it in Diddy leagues. How wrong was I? Hold my hands up 100%. I'm sorry, Ange. But, I mean, even at the time, I mean, we never had all this in the media fawning over this guy. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, Ange had, I mean, we can say it now, but he had the CV to back it up. Which is this guy's, as I say, been a manager 5 minutes and mid-table in the Championship.
By the way, listen, I'm going to answer that question, right? But something that you've just reminded me. You talk about the kind of media bias up in this country, right? We all know what it's like. If you don't know what it's like, it's fucking shocking. Everything is so peppered towards Rangers or the Rangers, whatever you want to fucking call them. And this is totally led by a thing that popped up on my phone, my feed today. And it was I don't subscribe to them at all, but the Daily Record popped up on my feed, and it was some woman who won I'm a Celebrity last night, I didn't really go into a lot of details about it. I think she was a woman for Uppbeat. I think she played for England or something.
Cheers, mate. I've got that on the planner watching it with the missus, so.
Sorry, mate. I still put a disclaimer up there, but anyway, apparently this big tall woman, she's won I'm a Celebrity last night, right? And the headline is whatever, fucking Jill Scott or something, I think her name was. Jill Scott is a Rangers fan. And I'm like, all right, who the fuck's Jill Scott? I'm sure that's something. So I've jumped in, clicked on it, and it turns out that fucking the very misleading headline from the fucking Daily Record. She's a Rangers fan because apparently somebody dug a tweet out for 2011 where she showed support to Sonia Illico because she was playing with sister at England. Do you know what I mean? So this is the type of feel good shit that they try to put in to that club when everybody knows it's a complete and utter fucking shambles. So sorry for taking that off a tangent there, mate. It just totally reminded me of what you're talking about. But listen, I was distraught when I saw the name Ange Postecoglou because I'd invested so much of my faith already into Eddie Howe because it just seemed like it was going to be Eddie Howe. It didn't seem as if it was going to be anything to say that it wasn't, apart from obviously the length of time. I'd went in and researched Eddie Howe. I looked at everything that he'd done. I looked at Richard Hughes. You know, he was coming in as a technical director. Looked at the backroom staff, who's going to come in. And that was it. For me, it was Eddie Howe. And I'd invested myself in Eddie Howe. And then on that Friday night, when I was sitting in the van, I was sitting waiting. It was in my brother's house, actually. And I got a text. Eddie Howe's fucking pulled out. And that was it. All the feeds all come up. And it was fucking, that was it. Eddie Howe was gone, man. I was absolutely gutted. And then literally within 20 to 30 minutes, I'd got a text to say, we are signing Ange Postecoglou. And I was like, fucking who? You know what I mean? So obviously, like, the fucking, I'd had to go and look at this guy. But fortunately, the more that I'd went and looked into him, I started to think, right, well, this is kind of interesting. This is a totally out of the left field kind of signing. And as I say, the more and more that you were researching into the guy, I was like, by the way, this isn't too bad. And then I watched the interview, you know, the old one, the old Australian one. And I saw him and I'm like, by the way, I like that passion. I like the fact that he's actually arguing with a fucking reporter. And then you saw his honours, and then you started to listen to him and you're like, right, okay, this might not be that bad. And then he comes off the helicopter with
Don Mackay.
Don Mackay. And then you hear him, and I'm like, right, okay, this guy's kind of, I like the cut of this guy's jib. But you look at that and transfer it to the other side, right? So they've got in their ex-assistant manager, who, as you say, is clearly been touted as the brains behind Gerrard, the brains behind the tactics, the brains behind this and that, da. Most of them forget the fact that they wanted rid of fucking Gerrard for the last year to 6 months of his tenure. Well, maybe not a year, sorry, but about 6 months of his tenure, the football was terrible. So if they wanted rid of Gerrard, then surely the fucking brains behind him should have been going with him as well. You know, they've paid 1.5 million for a guy for compensation. The QPR, Les Ferdinand turned around and says, listen, if you want to sign him, we're not going to stand in your way. What does that tell you? Is that they don't want the guy there? Are they not really going to put up a fight to keep him? That tells that.
Probably saves him a player.
It does, mate. It does, and it probably tells us that lot are going to be looking to be going with the players that they've got as it stands. Hoping they can get a guy in for the previous regime who won in the league, get them but kind of lifted up, maybe bring in a youth player or two, maybe look at a loan signing, maybe look at a freebie signing. I think us as a club, mate, need to be looking here and going, do you know what? This is a club in disarray. This is a club who are posturing like fucking peacocks, but haven't got any feathers to back it up, mate. It's like a baldy arse that they're fucking showing us here. You know what I mean? We're going out and we're getting business done early. We've signed the boy for Japan, another Japanese boy to add to the addition. that gives us future scope to be going to Japan, getting a pre-season tour. We've been to Australia. We actually went to Australia, unlike some. We got the money, we got the exposure, we got the feel-good factor, and we got a good break. We're now signing a guy for Canada, multinational, all these countries, all over the world, with great followings, great hundreds of people, millions of people, excuse me, and they're looking to rebuild. Do you know what I mean? We need to be looking here and saying, by the way, we've got the confidence to go and crush them, but we need to do it without being cocky. We need to realise that we are the fucking big dogs here, and we've put ourselves into that position. Do you know what I mean? And we need to secure our dominance.
Well, what I was saying as well is I've done a pub on Sunday night for that Spain game, and as I said, that's what I was saying to my mates. You could probably liken it to us when Lennon was here, when we get shot of Lennon and Kennedy came in and took her, because you'd never be saying how good a coach he was, and all the ex-players, like, obviously, that weren't there at the time, came out and said, I think it was Big Iyer, wasn't it? Came out and gave him glowing reports. And I mean, all that sounds good, but it's not as if he came in and turned it right round and everything was hunky-dory and he was ever realistically going to get the job full-time. It's probably the same idea, isn't it? I mean, it's no for off. I know Kennedy never went out and became a manager in his own right, but I mean, as I say, that guy's been a manager. Excuse me. That guy's been a manager 5 minutes. So I think it's probably quite a fair comparison. And I mean, if as I say, I wasn't really delighted when we appointed Ange, but I think I'd been suicidal when we appointed Kennedy. If we appointed Kennedy, man, wouldn't he have done a lot for me, man?
Especially when we paid fucking 1.6 million from Gompo.
Aye, true, aye.
No, it's I know we really shouldn't count our chickens in that and kind of you can end up with egg in your face, but I feel confident, mate. This, like, you look at what this guy's done, mate. This guy is a complete and utter fucking snake, right? Whatever way you look at it, he's went to QPR. The club's backed him. He's ended up going to fucking Ibrox, you know, while the manager's still there.
That's England just scored.
Oh, fuck England.
No.
He's been up to Ibrox. They've still got a manager in place and he's up in the crowd. You know what I mean?
Aye. No, I know. As I say, I fucking, obviously time will tell what will happen with the guy. I'm no, as you say, I'm keeping my powder dry the now. I'm not saying for a second that the league's finished. I think got a wee couple more points I got just to be sure. As I say, I've still got PTSD for Lennon, I think, so anything's possible. But but obviously he'd rather be where we are than we're there. I mean, the guy could come in. I think he will probably get a bounce, as he always do with a new manager. But whether they sustain it or not is a totally different thing, isn't it?
Aye, definitely. And I think the most telling factor as well is that, you know, they potentially got something like 10 first team players out of contract this summer. And I know I don't mean to kind of spend a lot of time talking about them, but I'm talking about them from our vantage point. Do you know what I mean? Because they gestured, they posturised the last time, you know, when they brought in what do you call it? Van Bronckhorst. You know, they brought back out the Alls taps in honour of the Dutch, this and that. Gio was going to bring them 56. Blah, blah, fucking blah. Ange has seen off another guy. You know what I mean? Ange will see off another. I am telling you, he will see off this fucking absolute imposter, clown, mutant.
Apart from that, he's all right.
He's all right, guys. His name's Mick.
Do nothing to England.
For fuck's sake. I'm just Googling the fixtures, mate. So our first game back is
Pittodrie, innit? Is it no Pittodrie?
Pittodrie, innit? Aye. Sure it is.
It's Pittodrie, then we're at Hame on the Wednesday, and then we're at Hame on Christmas Eve, which I think is a Saturday, innit? Christmas Sunday this year.
Yes. Pittodrie, 17th of December, 12:30. Mate, I'm looking forward to seeing Celtic back again. I mean, this World Cup just has done absolutely fucking year off for me. I think I've seen about one or two decent games.
Two, don't get me wrong, 2 games yesterday morning were good, but I think for the most part it's been pretty shit.
I might as well do it then, since we've not been on for a couple of weeks. But who's your favourite so far?
Fuck, definitely no Argentina. I had seen on here the last time, Argentina and Martinez top goal scorer, and Paddy Power doing a thing.
At the tenner.
Free bet. Free bet if you did £3 bet if you did a shot on target every shot on target and every goal. Still waiting my free bet coming in. But I don't know. Who would you say so far? I mean, probably Brazil, but they didn't even look that great yesterday, did they? I don't think there's been anybody that's played well.
No,
nobody's
totally stood it, have they?
Nah, not at all. See, to be fair, I'm saying no Argentina. A lot of the times it's the countries that are the slow starters, isn't it, that end up kicking on and winning it. Like Spain's looked alright, but I just find Spain so boring to watch. It's just pass.
I was disappointed by Belgium, but again, what do you expect with fucking Roberto Martinez as in charge? You know what I mean?
Did you see the who was it who played yesterday? Japan, Costa Rica. Did you see that game? No.
No, I did not, mate. No.
Oh, that second half against Germany, they were absolutely brilliant. Even the first half, Maida scores his offside goal, but he takes it quite well. And see that set, they look so poor. And just after watching the two games, even the Germany game, Hatate walks into that team. See, it was just yesterday especially, they were so poor, because I was actually quite looking forward to that, because I thought they'd try and go for it a wee bit more and get the win, but nah, it was turgid, man. So slow, so passive, boring, shite.
Well, that's what they get for no bringing Hatate and Kyogo. I think so far, mate. I think I would probably have to say France. They look a bit the only team that can produce quality. But other than that, mate, Argentina obviously get fucking spanked after the Saudis. They were lucky to get the goal with Messi in the next game. Seriously disappointed by him. Uruguay was a team that I thought could maybe have done something, but nothing again.
No, they've been poor. I think they've still got a chance of getting through, right? And Ghana, no. It is Ghana in it, because it was a Suarez on bots. The rematch, that would be a cracking game. But no, Uruguay's been so disappointing. That Darwin Núñez, man, I can't suss him out at all. Sometimes he looks like an absolute world beater, other times he looks like a pub team player.
Mate, it reminds me so much of Samaras.
That's a shout, actually, aye.
Honestly,
and it's not even as if it's one game to the next, it's like 1 minute to the next.
Aye, that's like Big Sammy would have done that. Big Sammy would have left you fucking pulling at your hair, because there was that old adage, you know, when Big Samaras is on his game, he's fucking unplayable. But like, you couldn't tell, because 1 minute he was on his game and then the next minute he's fucking falling on his own feet. But that's like the big boy Núñez for me. But I think he will be a quality player. But he's one of these big guys that kind of just float about in it and just fucking, there's no urgency. It's just like,
nah, I know. What, Jimmy, did you see that game last night, Portugal game?
No, I did not, mate, no.
Oh, I was going to ask if you gained it to Ronaldo. Have you seen it? Nah.
Oh, mate, I've heard all the shit about it. Oh, day at fucking work, man.
Mate, I used to quite like Ronaldo. If you ever asked me Messi or Ronaldo, I would have always said Ronaldo. Or, to be fair, I was really fucking, like, I would never defended it. I could really be asked. I didn't really have a dog in that fight. But if you asked me, I'd say Ronaldo. But, mate, what has happened to him? See, the last couple of months or something? He's just turned into a proper fucking knob. The interview with Piers Morgan. Like, I always defended, I always liked him, but that interview with Piers Morgan, and then I seen the Portuguese FA, the head of the Portuguese FA or something, said they're appealing to FIFA to get Ronaldo that goal.
You're joking?
No, honest to God, mate, aye. So, fuck no, I think Ronaldo must be the head of the Portuguese FA, because if he gets that goal, I don't know if he equals it or he beats Eusebio's record for Portugal for the most goals at the World Cup. It's fucking embarrassing, man.
Mate, the guy's a fucking egomaniac, man. Just everything is all about. I mean, by the way, listen, all credit to Eric Ten Hag for walking in the door and going, do you know what, mate? We can't do this. I want to build a team, and I can't do it with you in the team. So hence why he's fucking went and had that outburst with the most lamentable fucking arsehole. The bricks prick, mate. Fucking Piers Morgan. He's only done that to basically to twist fucking Man United's hand. You know what I mean? He wanted away because he wanted to play in the Champions League. He wanted to get goals in the Champions League. Wanted to be the man in the Champions League. He couldn't stand no being the man because he's fucking nearly 40. His body, well, he's fucking certainly still fitter than me, that, but he's dwindling. He's dwindling as a player. It happens to everybody, unless you're fucking Jesus Christ or whatever, or a fucking zombie. You're going to fucking decline. It is what it is. he can't handle that, and he's turned into an absolute bellend.
Well, all that being said, mate, we were talking earlier, we're looking for a third choice striker and he's wanting Champions League football, so I think I could forgive and forget pretty quickly.
No, I think I'd bottle the cunt.
Oh, I think he's MLS bound anyway, isn't he?
No, Messi's apparently going to...
I seen that Inter Miami.
Inter Miami, and there was a cracking picture on fucking Twitter or something, and it was Leo Messi close to joining Inter Miami. He's going to be joined by Busquets, Luis Suarez, somebody else, and they will all be managed by Phil Neville.
See, I fucking probably rather play Phil Neville up front and Luis Suarez after watching him last night. He's so far over the hill, isn't he?
Is he? Aye.
I've not seen miles and miles off it. Aye, miles off it. It looked like a five-a-side player.
Well, listen, as I say, time catches up with everybody, and
aye.
You know, these guys just need to fucking chuck it. But it's going to be interesting, mate. It's going to be interesting when these guys actually do retire or kind of dwindle down into playing in MLS or Saudi Arabia, where fucking Ronaldo's probably going to be, and then we'll see the next generation, and we'll see who's going to try and take up the mantle of being, you know, the next best player in the world. So you're going to be talking about guys like
Haaland. That was going to be my question. Haaland or Mbappe?
Oh. I think
I'm Haaland all day long. I think Mbappe's similar to Ronaldo, too big an ego after all that stuff with PSG.
I think as a player, Haaland's a bit of a freak. He's quality, he's big, he's strong. But out of the two of them, I actually prefer Mbappe as a player. But Mbappe, I fucking hate him. I can't stand him. He's everything that's wrong with modern day football.
Aye.
Mate, see if I don't know the ins and outs to a T of his contract situation, but if you've got a player who I think he's 21?
Can it be
21, 21, 22, and he's basically got a contract for his club that says that he's got say in team selection and other players. At 21 years of age, you would walk into your dressing room, you would kick his cunt in. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Like, who the fuck are you wee gimp? So for that, mate, Mbappe's probably he'll probably retire at 25 and try to fucking start up a fucking clothing line or something. You know what I mean? That's that type of player that he is. He's just a scumbag. I don't know him personally, but no, he is the prick.
Hanging about with Neymar too much.
By the way, there's another tadger. By the way, Neymar had all the potential to be one of the greatest players in history, and for me, his attitude just totally stinks, and that's the reason why he will never be up there. He'll never even surpass the likes of Ronaldinho, even though he could have potentially, but nah, absolutely not. So sorry, mate, did I even answer your question though?
Didn't know the question. Mbappe or Haaland? So I think he actually started off saying Mbappe and then slaughtered him for about 20 minutes.
That's what I'm saying. As a player, he's phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. But as a person, he's a prick. And well, in terms of on the park and whatever else. So yes, my apologies. I'm going to go with Haaland. So, as I say, we missed last week on the Jungle Gyms. We rectified that tonight. It didn't look as though it was going to happen, but we've pulled out the bag. So thanks for jumping on, Jamesy boy. I appreciate it. And Andy as well. I know it didn't really go very, very well, but we tried it anyway. So next Tuesday, we'll be back on. We'll try and get the full crowd on again. That'll be us two and Gav and hopefully McGinty. Maybe Dasbo and off if he fancies it. He's back down the road, so we'll see what happens. But listen, everybody, thanks for tuning in. An hour plus tonight. Good going. Me and Jamesy boy are going to go. We're going to go and try and watch the rest of the football. As I say, thanks for tuning in. If you've not done it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe on the YouTube. The wee bell tells you the alerts when we're coming on. All that nonsense. And we'll see you next Tuesday. And that's one step closer to the Celtic being back here. Right, Trips. Catch you later.
See you later.